Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a piece that gives a bunch of different lessons, primarily on luminescence, near-symmetrical form, the path of the lone hero, and also some of kind of the idea of connecting a story across multiple different pieces of art. And so the artist here is Vin Clovercreek. He is a German artist who was born in a pretty small village and had his upbringing around a lot of different family members who were creatively gifted, from his grandfather who was a painter to his father who did woodworking. These all contributed to kind of the foundations and the initial seeds of what we now see today, which is a extremely talented artist who has an immense ability to capture uh, just kind of this divine spirit in the canvas in front of us. And the thing that strikes me the most is his color work. If you look into some of his other pieces, they do have this kind of painterly, kind of watercolor-esque feel, but I think that all really adds to the life of his pieces. And then on top of that, you'll just be mesmerized about the amount of color in each one of his pieces. So let's just jump right into it. So obviously, in our introduction, we're going to be met with these three main lanes. And these, of course, let's go for red. So these three main lanes set up the piece in front of us. So we have our main character here in the center. Whenever a piece of, or an element of a piece of art stands in the center, it always emphasizes itself to the highest degree. So we do see a center emphasis here, which of course draws us in. Other than that, we also see a dark on light contrast here with her Asian hat. So you can see that the silhouette of her form here contrasts the massive middle orange pillar here, or middle orange portal. And that does provide a contrast and an emphasis or an accent for the viewer themselves. And then we also see, of course, her companion shows up a lot in this story, and the companion is also a light on dark contrast as well. It's really important to note that these three lanes, or these three portals here, do utilize a light on dark contrast. So we have multiple different emphases here. So we have in your initial introduction, you're probably going to get this dark contrast that you first notice, and then on top of that, as your eye is drawn down towards the main character here, of course, you go from a light on dark contrast emphasis to focusing on a dark on light contrast emphasis. So that's important to note there. So this of course emphasizes it, so it draws you in, but it gives you a place for your eyes to rest. So this neutrally voided black background that's kind of all around here, that provides the platform or a neutrality to really accent those different elements in the piece in front of us. So this story. Oh, first I want to mention, before we go into the story, I also wanted to mention that we see a really good example of near symmetrical form here, and of course that is around the center axis there. It's not perfect, but center axis about there, and of course the colors aren't necessarily symmetrical on either side, but this triple lane form is symmetrical on either side, and also there's mostly symmetrical here. Of course, her hair deviates from that, and her kind of cloak deviates from that as well. Even the cat deviates from that a bit. But if we look just kind of the foundation of it, it is a near symmetrical spatial composition, which lends a visual experience or a visual rhythm of really high harmony and a lot of balance. So that's why this piece feels so balanced in front of us, even though it does have three different colors. The form itself is symmetrical, which is harmonious. So the piece, as I think I mentioned just a little bit earlier, but this goes across 26 individual pieces, and I believe reviewing I want to say the 16th. Don't quote me on that. I think it's the 16th panel in the full story. And the story follows a lone traveler, so the lone traveler, the girl, and also her feline companion. And so these two have been through just a bunch of different things. They've gone to let's see. They've been to icy plains. They've been to cities which have kicked them out. They've been to these Great Lakes. They've seen incredible rocket ships. And on that note, rocket ships actually occur quite a bit in the story. So that's really important to note. You see a rocket ship there. You see two rocket ships there with their trailing going down. So it's pretty safe to say that this is a story in the science fiction genre, and science fiction is also really important and really it has a lot of momentum behind it at the moment. And I think that what Clover Creek is doing is just one bit of this massive wave of so much sci-fi art, and that should not diminish his contributions by any means. We see most of the sci-fi artists are kind of digital renderings, so cyberpunk, things like that. And what I like about Clover Creek is he uses his skill of illustration to stay in this sci-fi medium. It's not easy to draw sci-fi stuff. You know, you really have to be creative, and you really have to kind of take that advanced technology and put it into a whole new world. And I think that's exactly what Clover Creek does. So this, as far as we can tell, this loose story across about 26 pieces is called 2055. And if you look on his website, we're going to hop on there in a second. But if you look on his website, you can view a lot more deeper on these pieces and a little bit more in depth. So let's see, what else do we have to look at here? We have the story of the lone hero across the story. And that's also really important because through so many different stories in literature and mythology and everything like that, we see the lone hero is the one who traverses, right? It's sometimes, you know, you have 1, 2, 3 people, but normally the emphasis is on one character and this kind of singular individual experience through hardship, through foreign environments, through harsh environments, just pushing the boundaries to try and find the oasis or find the temple at the top of the mountain, for example. And that's also important to note because right before this, you see them ascending this mountain, and this lies within a temple. Our main character is given 3 choices. These are 3 portals here to 3 different realms or 3 different areas. And of course, on the far left, we have this kind of green, deep, dark sea. You can see very, very small, what appears to either be a fish or a shark. So that's important to note there. So we have kind of this deep ocean. We also have this rustic red canyon here, and then we have the Arctic plains. So I'm not going to spoil you and tell you which one they choose. I'll let you look at Clover Creek's page and find that one out. But the lone hero here, or the lone traveler, is met with 3 choices signified by these 3 different portals. And some of the areas that I mentioned, they actually, at this part of the story, they haven't gotten there yet, so that's also important to note. But I think that the story of the lone hero isn't just about what they've been through, but it's about the potential for what they are going to do. Of course, they are still looking for the keys of knowledge through experience and through those tumultuous times to then bring back to the greater whole and make everyone smarter due to their courageous risk-taking. So I think that's really important, and not just about what the main character has already been through, but the potential for what she's going to go through next. And that's always super important when we're looking at the timeline of the hero and kind of the story in general. So we're going to hop on and look at the... I really like the artist's website, so we're going to take a look at that here in a second. Let me get these out of here. Alrighty. So I wanted to show the artist page just because I really, really like how he's presented this. We're also going to look at a little bit of the artist info as well. And so you'll see each one goes through a different slide, and each one takes you through a different part of the story there. And so if we were to, for example, click on the crash here, it was created in a piece of digital art. You can scroll it down. We have the piece in isolation. It's a really, really nice emphasis there. And then we have some text that's in deeper on the piece itself. So I encourage everyone to check that out. Look deeper into this piece, and I really like the layout of this website that the artist has done. So if you're listening to this right now, Clovercreek, really good work. I really like your stuff. Now, one of my favorite German artists, I would say my favorite German artists are Pauline Voss, Vin Clovercreek, and Lorem. If you know who those people are. Pauline Voss is also known as Skavidor. I hope I'm saying. But she's also a illustrator, just like Clovercreek, and then Lorem is a 3D artist. So it was really fun discovering him. This is outside of the city of Limburg, right in the middle of Germany. Previously, he grew up in a really creative environment, and that was really important because his grandfather painted and his dad did a lot of woodworking. So there was creativity. There's always some creativity around. As a quote from, that was a really cute picture. You can see where the instrument from. Yeah, he's really little here, but it's incredible. And so he says as he got older during high school, what he thinks was sparked by video games, 3D modeling, and animation caught his attention. And so this was kind of the beginnings of learning shapes, perspective, and lighting, which of course gives you a tremendous advantage as an artist, which is just that is quite clear, right? So we're gonna hop back to the whiteboard. And I just want you guys to check out the story a bit more. 2055. It's a really fascinating story. I think that just for me personally, when I saw, I think it's really smart what he's done, because you'll find one of the pieces of this greater story, and then all of a sudden you want to dig deeper, you want to explore deeper into the story, and that's really what led me to find this piece here. The amazing style will draw you in, but the story will keep you coming back. So I think that's incredible to note. And I think Clovercreek did an amazing job on this piece. The luminescence really brings you in. The color is mesmerizing. It feels divine because, like I said before, they're standing in a temple at the top of a mountain. So you can think of the lone hero as finally reaching the peak or the oasis, and now she's confronted with these 3 choices here. So I thought this was an incredible piece. I wanted to share this with you guys and just talk a little bit more deeper on it. And I hope you guys check out the story, and I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all next time. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.